I'd like to call this evening's King's Board of Educational regular board meeting to order. Mr. Morrow, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Phillips, Ms. Groff, Ms. Cowan, Mr. Belfrom.
Here.
Mr. Skrull.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. May I have a motion to approve this evening's agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan, Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. First agenda item we have this evening is reports and presentations. Mr. Sears, I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, thank you, Board of Education, and those of you here in person. Tonight, we have a few presentations and a couple recognitions. The first one is our monthly raise presentation. We are fortunate to have Gabby Cabrera here this evening. Gabby is going to take us through all the awesome things that are happening at Kings High School.
All right, thank you so much. As you may notice, we are missing a few people. Taylor's down in Monterey on the mission trip, and then Derek is unfortunately out sick. And Maya did have to take a step back due to some mental health issues. So you guys are stuck with me for the night. But we are going to head right into our arts. So our King's Symphonic Bands, if you'll click to the next slide, thank you. Recently performed at the OMEA Professional Development Conference. They were 4 bands out of over 600 that auditioned that were able to perform. This is about the equivalent of a sports team going to state. So we are super impressed by them per usual. So congratulations to our symphonic band. And then our choir has had a very big year this year. They have nicknamed it their banner year. They have been working with some super impressive people and are putting on some super impressive performances, including their third quarter performance coming up March 7th, which will be a big hit. So be sure to be there. And then heading into our clubs, our Art and Kindness Club has created paintings for the nurses at Kings Mills Hospital in honor of American Heart Month. And then they also held a glass etching workshop for the high school and junior high school students. And then our Stronger Together Club recently held their African Cultures Celebration. Students volunteered to present about countries of their choice, including Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Uganda, and Somalia. They have also announced the date of their Culture Night, March 24th. They are super excited for that and working very hard on that. And then heading into some of our athletics, our bowling team competed in the ECC championships this past Friday. A big congratulations to senior Jaden McMillan for his second place finish. Our wrestling team had a huge 54-23 win over Princeton on their joint senior and youth nights. And then our cheer team traveled to Orlando and put on great performances at nationals. So a huge congratulations to all 3 of these teams. And then our men's basketball team had a great win, 55-50 over West Claremont. Our women's basketball team celebrated their most recent win, 53-48 against Lebanon. And then our swim team is having an incredible year, sending 16 swimmers to districts. And then a big congratulations to senior Maya Schweikert, who was named ECC Swimmer of the Year for the 4th and final year in a row. So we are super excited for Maya and to see what she has in store for her final postseason. And then for our academics, our art and design and DMA students had a record 86 regional art awards in the Scholastics art and writing competition. This is more than any other school district in Southwest Ohio. Up on the board are just a few of the 86 artworks recognized. And as you can tell, we have a big variety up there. So a huge congratulations to these students. And then our National Honor Society students made surprise visits to elementary classrooms, acting as mystery readers. They got to choose their own book and visit an elementary class and do a little read aloud. This was a lot of fun for everyone involved, and we are super excited to continue this partnership. And then Mrs. Henderson took a group of 6 juniors to the West Point Society Leadership and Ethics events. They heard from speakers, had small group discussions, and worked through some real world challenges and how they would develop their leadership roles in those. All of the juniors had a great time and said that they learned a lot. And then our architecture students took a field trip to SHP for a tour and an overview of the firm. They heard from all kinds of roles and were able to get a sneak peek of a walkthrough of the new high school. They also took a trip to the Scholastics exhibit at the Art Academy and took a tour of the DAP building at UC. So some great opportunities for our architecture students. And then moving into service, students from Spanish National Honor Society and National Honor Society got the opportunity to volunteer at Tim Tebow's Night to Shine. It is basically a prom that highlights students with special needs. I got the opportunity to be a buddy at the night, and we had a lot of fun. We danced, we had food, we played games. It was a good time for everyone, and I am super excited to return as a volunteer next year. And then our National Art Honor Society and Art and Kindness Club are excited to introduce their Giving Gallery. This is placed in the Teacher's Lounge and contains all kinds of small original artworks. Teachers are encouraged to take a piece whenever they feel it could be meaningful for a student, colleague, family member, or friend. And then finally, our student spotlight for this month is Maddie Kirby. Maddie is a senior who acted as stage manager for the junior high production of Dear Edwina Jr. Maddie has been involved in the theater department all 4 years at high school, and she was recently honored with the Legacy Robe for the fall production of Until Winter. We are super thankful for Maddie and everything she has contributed to the King's Theater Department. And then that is all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby, and all of our Raise reps and our Raise teachers, Ms. Six, Mrs. Eldridge, Ms. Kaufman, for your continued amazing work. And it's always nice for our Raise reps to actually have an audience to present to. So thank you all for being here and contributing to all the great things that are happening at Kings High School. Next up, we have 2 recognitions. The first one is a long time coming. We've been working on scheduling, we like to take teams and groups that participate at the state and national level. We like to bring them in and celebrate some of their accomplishments. This is one we've worked on for a little bit. We finally were able to make it happen tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to our athletic director, Mr. Eric Taylor.
Thank you, everyone. I don't know why they always put me after Gabby. It's never goes so well for me. Great job, Gabby. So luckily, Taylor Kleiss was in Mexico, so she couldn't show me up this time. But that's a 1-2 punch that really does a great job. So thank you for that. Tonight, we have the honor of recognizing one of the most accomplished teams in the history of Kings High School, your Kings men's soccer team, the 2005 OHSAA state runner-up. This achievement is truly historic. In a long and proud tradition of Kings athletics, this team became only the second team across any sport to reach the OHSAA state championship. We were fortunate enough to have a OATC, the Tennis Coaches Association, state champions in 2005 for tennis. It wasn't an OHSAA recognition, but I like to recognize that group as well. And then in 2023, we had the state championship, OHSAA state championship volleyball team. So for this team to be the second team ever to make the state finals for OHSAA, it is an unbelievable and unprecedented accomplishment. So proud of each and every one of our team members. We invited our seniors here tonight. They're nothing short of astounding on just what they brought in. Sometimes you come in the season, you don't know what to expect, and each week this team just got better and better. And as the postseason came closer, it was, you know what, they're going to do something really special, and they certainly did. Their journey to the state championship was nothing short of remarkable. They were ECC champions, district champions, regional champions, state runner-up, finished the season with a record of 15-3-5, giving up only 8 goals in the entire season in 23 games, with an impressive 16 shutouts. That's a testament to, one, an amazing defense, an aggressive offense that was always scoring, and an All-American goalie. That kind of helps a little bit. But they're just the entire team's discipline, teamwork, relentless commitment to excellence on both sides of the ball brought this together. Moments like this deserve to be remembered. A state runner-up trophy that's here tonight will be proudly remain displayed in our trophy case for the history moving forward. We have a banner hanging in the gym permanently, and it's a reminder to every night in the future that greatness is achievable through hard work and unity and belief. To our players, coaches, and supporters, you didn't just win matches, you raised the standard, you represented Kings with class, and you inspired an entire school community. I'd like to recognize our seniors from the roster. Some of them are here tonight. We have Sam Molfinter. If you're here, if you can come up front, please. Carson Little, Kevin Cyrus, Sam Wick, Jacob Kaiser, Royce Hawkins, Jacob Hollingsworth, Adrian Kearns, Zach Arnold, or Arnie, Andrew Prater, and Brody Sitcher. Congratulations, man. Thank you very much. We'll have a photo with the board and the trophy, please.
That's the. Great. All right, who wants to hold the trophy? All right. Perfect. Kind of scoot in a little bit here on the sides. Everybody else, great. Maybe actually need to, have you come up to the front and have. Thanks, a little bit here, and I want you to kind of in between those two, and then Janelle, I want you to come on. Yes, that's perfect. There we go, on page. 1, 2, 3. You can stay there when you're finished, and we'll get some parents get photos. Okay, perfect. I'm good. Looking good, man. Looking good. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Good job.
You have to listen to your mother voice.
What happens when you win? Don't move. I'm gonna get that one too. Here, 1, 2, 3. Thanks, guys. We good? No, we're good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. I don't know what's happening. Hold on. Hey, I'll just hold on the trophy for you. Get it back there. We're gonna sit in my class.
Yep. Okay. Next up, we would like to take a moment to recognize our award-winning band. Recently, our concert band was able to participate in the OMEA State Conference, as Gabby outlined just a few minutes ago. This group was chosen out of 600 musical groups across the state of Ohio. They had to submit recordings. The recordings were listened to in kind of the blind audition style to where the judges did not know which band they were listening to. They accept one band in each division for a total of 4 to participate in the OMEA Professional Development Conference in Columbus. And it's basically the closest thing to a concert state band championship that we have at this level. We're very proud of our band is being recognized as basically the top concert band in the state of Ohio in our division. There were 60 students that performed, and they performed in front of hundreds of folks around the state of Ohio on January 30th. We're extremely proud of the band program that we have, in large part to the talented students, dedicated, talented students that we have, our incredible families that, as you know, band is an all-in participant activity for many of our students. And it also, we're very thankful to have such a strong leadership from all of our folks that support band, but especially Mr. Brian McDonough. And so on behalf of the administration, the board, and the entire community, we'd like to congratulate our entire band for their continued excellent work. Specifically in this recognition is our concert band for the work they did in participation at OMEA. So I'd like to bring up our concert band director, Mr. Brian McDonough. Let's give him a big congratulations.
And my assistant directors, Michael and Rowan. I just wanted to take my time tonight, first of all, to thank the board for recognizing the band. Do one of these. First of all, thanking the board for recognizing the group, but also to say something a little bit radical. I believe that there's no more important class in Kings High School than band class. And in a society that's increasingly becoming individual and isolated, where we're only part of our small tribe, and who among us after school we go home and watch Netflix and play Minecraft and figure out, do stuff on our own. Doing things together in real time is one of the most important skills that we can teach these kids. And band encourages and teaches teamwork, collaboration, inclusiveness, social awareness, leadership and responsibility and time management, the idea that people are relying on you to perform your best. And that's something that these students don't always get. And that's something they get every single day in band class. I like to say, this is the message that I shared with the kids as we were leading up to the OMEA performance. Your whole life is a group project. My family, this board, the whole school district, it's a group project. And we do that every single day in class. And so I truly believe to do things together with other people is one of the most noble pursuits, and we do that every single day in band class. And I want to thank the board, the students, the parents, my co-staff for their continued commitment to those ideals. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Hey, of course it is. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
All of these have great connections to the Kings band too.
Can you switch aside a little bit?
Scooch over, Mikey.
On 3, 1, 2.
Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Yeah, they deserve that. Good stuff. What's good?
Yeah. Say thank you.
We're leaving.
Great. Thank you. And our last presentation this evening continues the monthly report out from each one of our buildings about our strategic initiatives. Tonight, we're happy to have South Lebanon Elementary here, and I will turn it over to Principal Belinda Atkins.
I'm going to take this down. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us. Last year, we came to you to describe our powerhouses, which were designed to help introduce Power 5 skills to our students. It's been a great success. So this year, we are back because we want to share with you a few examples of how this is now developed into a tool to help our students practice the Power 5 skills and really build the consistent vocabulary that are included in those Power 5 skills. So I have some special friends with me tonight, one of which we have Miss Emma Shuey, who is a kindergarten teacher. And I will tell you, she is here because she has been integral this year in helping us really hone in and solidify our house meetings that are happening and really making sure that those meetings are aligned to the Power 5 skills and how we're facilitating those in an organized and fun way for the kids. So first, she is going to just describe the house meetings for you.
You can go to the next slide, please. Or oh, look at your cute pictures up there, guys. The next one, please. Thank you so much. Maybe. Okay, so these are our house crests that were actually made by a high school student, Avery Manley. She did an amazing job with these, putting these all together for us. So each house has one of the Power 5 skills that kind of tie it all together. So our heralds are our communicators, our sages are critical thinkers, innovators are the problem solvers, vanguard are those kids like career ready leaders, and unity are our collaborators. Finn, Jarrett, you want to share what house you guys are in? You want the mic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I'm in Sages. I'm in Innovators.
Yes, so all of our kids through K to 4 are split into different houses, so they get to mix with the entire school during our meetings, which is great for all of them to meet new friends and work on those skills together. So we kicked this off at the beginning of the year by this epic sorting ceremony, very Harry Potter-ish, but we sorted. So last year we had this like all come together. So this past year we had a bunch of new students, new to Kings and new to SLE. So that's where we sorted them with confetti poppers, and all of the houses dressed in their colors and cheered when the confetti popper went off, so they got to see who was going to be in their house. And then Mrs. Atkins came to each kindergarten class to sort them. As you can see by these faces, they're just over the moon to get into houses where they're like, my sister's in that one, like someone on my bus is in that one. So just building like that whole community as our whole school. And then throughout the year, we've met every other month for these meetings to strengthen those Power 5 skills, a lot of team building and collaboration through different activities. We did a gratitude activity in November. We did a bunch of team building stuff with like painting pumpkins in October. So this was just like to get to meet everyone in our house and to continue to build on that. And then our most recent one was November. So students got to make, like, each house made wreaths with their hands, and they had to use all those Power 5 skills. And we talked to them. Each teacher leader was able to tell them what skills we'd be practicing, like collaboration and communication. It was really cute because all the kindergartners would have their hands out and the older kids would be tracing them. And then the kindergartners would try to trace the older kids' hands. It's very cute. And then we made wreaths together. And this was also a time for the winning house. So we also keep track of points through positive behavior. So if you see like a kid in the hallway, like, oh, what house are you in? They get a point for good behavior. And then the winning house of each quarter gets a party. So the party winner this past time was Unity. So they got to use all of our big games we have in the gym and have a whole party for great behavior. So Finn and Jarrett, Finn, you want to go first? Do you want to share kind of what your favorite part is about the house meetings? Okay.
My favorite part is to meet new people in my house, since since every year there's going to be new people. Since kindergarten, there's always new kids in kindergarten. I like, and I also like meeting, seeing people that are already my friends. It's really fun to make new friends and see the ones that you already made. Meeting new people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's all. If you want to
Okay.
go to the next.
Now it's back to me. Obviously, the meetings are fun. They are really strategic. The parties are fun. But what comes most importantly is how these Power Five skills are transferred into the classroom. And so I was very fortunate enough to catch Mrs. Kelly Mullen, who is a first grade teacher at SLE. Finn and Jarrett are both members of her classroom. So these little first grade guys are brave enough to come here and talk a little bit about what they do in their class. And I happened to be through her room early in the fall and noticed her as she began a science lesson. They were going to do an experiment. And it was like magic. She had the Power Five chart out. She had the house chart out and was really doing such an excellent job of making those connections for the kids to the activity they were going to do. And now Miss Mullen and a lot of our teachers really specifically do that and they tie it in. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to catch this on camera. So we brought for you, first of all, a little snippet of it's her common activity for an economics unit that she did, where students got to create a product and they got to sell said product to other classrooms. So her culminating activity, kind of her wrap up before kids got to shop and buy, for you to see. And then I'm going to have Jarrett and kind of share their experience with that for you. So take it to the video there, Mark.
Creative, something fun that you guys want to come and do when we're in with us. And then we had to kind of turn on our stage chat and we had to make a plan. What materials do we need to bring with us so that we do our project every day here at school? We get it ready for them. And then while we're working on a project every day, we were using our communication and our collaboration. So that's like our hero friends and our unity friends, and we're practicing those skills about working good as a team and using nice words when we were talking to each other. So we wanted to make sure we were making it positive and fun for everybody. So you were working on how to talk to each other and work in a group with a partner next to us. And then we got to use our Vanguard house. This one we will use every day because a big part of the skills from the Vanguard house is using our time wisely. So we had a little bit of time in class every day where we got to work on making some of the projects that you're going to see in a minute. And we had to use our time to get a little bit done every day. So at the end of the week, we'd be all done and you'd come in. We also had to work independently because there's lots of groups here. So I couldn't help all the groups all the time. They had to do a lot of the work all by themselves. So they were using some of these Vanguard skills for that. And then we went back to our safe house. At the end of the project, we went back to like a stage event. And we had to come up with how much our store was involved. And you guys came to visit us. Because we didn't want it to be too expensive. Because then we might not get a lot of shoppers and it costs too much. And we wanted it to be a good price so that we get a lot of shoppers and we make a lot of money. So we had to think like a stage for a minute there and came up with a good price. And now we're ready for you guys to help us with the last step. You guys are going to help us work on some of our communication skills. So we're going to go back to that girl talk today. We are going to have to talk with you guys who we're not used to talking to everybody. So we're going to use our humors with you guys, and we're going to work on talking to you faces today. And are you guys ready to see what kinds of things can happen? Yeah.
So what I love about this video, I love that you can see the direct correlation between the houses and the Power Five skills. Is she's talking to right now as a kindergarten classroom, is visiting her class that we're about to shop. So I love that this is spreading, and she had some older kids shop as well. So the boys are going to come a little closer to me, right, gentlemen. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions. Finn, I'm going to start with you. Can you just tell us a little bit about your project that you did in Miss Mullen's room? Just tell us about your project first.
I was the one who came up of doing our project. We did ninja stars. The price we did was we did 3 different prices. There's a regular one, a holiday special. Some were holiday specials, but they just counted as them. And then there were some Pokemon ones. The regular ones were $1. The holiday specials were $2, and then the Pokemon dolls were $3.
Jared, did you come across any problems when you were doing your project, your Ninja Stars with Finn? Were there any problems you had to solve?
I didn't know how to do the last step. I kind of did it. Finn.
Yeah, just like the innovator that Finn is, right? I'm going to talk in this if that's okay. Just like the innovator that you are. And Jared, you are in the House of Sages. What do you think is your greatest skill, Power 5 skill that you bring to the House of Sages? What do you think? What do you use?
Critical thinker.
Good job. Excellent. Now, I heard one rumor that you thought about charging more for the girls. Isn't that true? Yeah. Why did you?
Then we decided not to.
Okay, good, because we don't have any of that at SLE. All right. Next question before this up a little bit. And what I want to know, boys, and things are both. How do you think this project kind of helped to steer you towards your future? Because that's really what Power. Oh, Jared's ready. All right. How do you think this helped?
It made us career ready.
Did not prompt him. Jared, what were you going to say?
It will prepare us for a job. So, so we know what to do when we are older and we get a job.
Anything else, Jared? No. Any last things that we didn't share that you wanted to? Because you guys were really brave to come here tonight. I mean, for first graders, they were pretty incredible. I didn't bring a trophy, but I brought cute kids, so I think I'm winning. Again, I hope that this really helped you see how we are carrying this through. We're really tying it in and we're creating a foundation for our youngest kids to really use those Power 5 skills, learn them well. I can't wait to see these guys when they get to high school, by the way. So that's bringing them to life at SLE. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Jared and Finn. Thank you, Ms. Sherry.
Good job, guys.
Great job.
Mrs. Atkins, I think that both Jared and Finn deserve a point from the board.
Definitely.
Education.
I love it.
Wonderful job they've done here this evening.
The House of Vanguard and the House, oh no, excuse me, the Innovators and the Sages will both get points. Maybe, I was gonna say, Luca is here, Finn's brother, who is in House of Vanguard. So maybe we'll, they'll get a point for him supporting his brother too. So thank you, definitely.
Well, I think both of their houses should get another point because both of these young men were part of my graduation speech video last year. If you don't recognize, they were stars of the show. So they are famous. So yes, thank you both. You guys are awesome, and your parents as well for being here tonight. We're grateful for you as well for your support and what we're doing here at King. So thank you for bringing them tonight, but also your support at home.
Thank you, guys.
It's gonna be tough to beat those presentations. Yes. Moving on, next item in our agenda is public participation. The King's Board of Education recognizes the value to school governance of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters of community interest. The board offers public participation to members of the public and applies the procedures to all speakers and does not discriminate based on the identity of the speaker, content of the speech, or viewpoint of the speaker. The board is also committed to conducting its public business meetings in a productive and efficient manner. The board provides a period for public participation for every regular meeting of the board and publishes rules to govern such participation in board meetings. The board president is the presiding officer and will administer the rules of the board. The portion of the meeting during which the public participation of the public is invited is limited to 30 minutes unless extended by a vote of the board. This evening, we only have one, Damon Legault. You'll be limited to 3 minutes.
I'll take less than that.
Okay.
So, been coming to the board meetings and paying a little bit more attention to what's been going on. So I have a couple questions I'd like, just to get a better understanding of exactly, some things, the way the money is being spent. So, the last couple of meetings, we've had some of the people come and speak about the high school being built and the money that's being saved, talking about $3.5 million. Where does that money, is that money unrealized, as in taken from, the community, as in taxes? So is it unrealized or is it actual money that's going to be on hand? And if so, what do we do if we do have a budget surplus? Does that then return back to the community? Second question is, at one of the meetings, we talked about that we have a state lobby committee. Do we know who's on that board? Are there meetings to this? And if so, is there a way to see to be able to get on the board or to see what we can do to maybe support them to lobby the state about funding? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Legault. Okay, moving on, we have item D, approval items for the treasurer. Mr. Morrow?
Thank you. Items 1 through 3 are the normal meeting minutes that the board's had a chance to review. Item 4 is our monthly financial items, including the bank reconciliation, check register, and donations. Number 5 is the financial forecast. Talked a little bit about this at the work session, but have a more summary presentation to give tonight. As a reminder to the board and community, there's a 30-page document that's included that outlines every assumption that's made to come up with the financial forecast. But if you could go ahead and click on the board presentation link. So we'll start kind of bigger picture about district finances and trends, and then kind of drill into some of those items that are the kind of most important and biggest. So while they work on bringing that up, I'll skip down to number 6 and we'll come back. Number 6 is the public records log. You can see we're pretty up to date on that. We've gotten a few items in the last couple weeks that that we'll work on getting fulfilled as soon as possible. Okay, so back to number 5, the financial forecast. This used to be called the 5-year forecast, but currently it's 4 years. We submit to the state 2 times a year, basically looking at our current year, and then currently it's three following years to say what's our financial future look like. All districts in the state submit this 2 times every year. They recently updated to submit in February, so we're doing the presentation this month. And also point out that there is a monthly update of budget versus actual that's given to the board. And then as I referenced before, a 30-page document that goes line by line. But we'll start kind of higher level and then dig in a little bit here. So I always like to look at what's changing and what's not changed around us as we're looking kind of at these incremental time periods. As the board knows and community members that pay attention, we touch on kind of those bigger things that are going on at regular monthly meetings, but just kind of a summary of what's not changed. So uncertainty at the state, so state funding is our second biggest revenue source, and nobody seems to know what exactly is going to happen there. There's constantly bills that are up for consideration that deal in how we're funded locally, how we're funded by the state. We really don't know what's going to happen, and it's been that way for coming up on a couple of years at this point. Our biggest expense, personnel, we continue to see increases in those expenses, primarily due to inflationary increases in benefit cost. This isn't tied to large staff adds, as we'll talk in a minute. This is primarily just costs more for salaries and benefits. And then rising purchase service costs. This one's always tricky when you're talking about student-specific costs, transportation, utilities. These can vary pretty widely year over year. Okay. So what has changed? Our new second biggest revenue source, the earned income tax and property tax reduction that was approved by the community in November. So that's brand new and it is represented, and we'll touch on those items. And then we have seen a flurry of state property tax bills that actually passed, that have gone through. And then the question of what's next, there's still a bunch floating out there, so we'll see if things settle down or not. I will say that the state property tax reform bills didn't primarily affect Kings right now. We're funded differently than a lot of other districts across the state, as far as we've asked the community to support our schools over time, where other districts have gotten unvoted increases in property taxes that these bills were meant to curb. So we weren't necessarily affected by this, but it kind of just speaks to the bigger picture of the state making changes. So number one, revenues, property taxes. You'll see in the forecast we're projecting about a 4.6% in revenue increase over a 5-year period. Granted, that's dampened a little bit by the 1 mil property tax that was rolled back from everybody's taxes this year. 1 full mil. I worked with the county auditor to make sure the 1 mil was in effect, but the reality of this is that our community flourishes. Values continue to go up, which is fantastic, but our revenues don't grow at the same rate. You can see big increases in values across the district. Our homes are worth more, and people have more equity in homes if they've owned their home for a while, which is fantastic. But it's important to point out that doesn't mean we get more money. Tax rate actually goes down as values go up to kind of equalize what people pay year over year to some degree. So it's fantastic. We've seen valuation growth, but our biggest revenue sources actually grown very little. The new revenue source, the earned income tax. We're still using 2022 income data to model this. The Ohio Department of Taxation doesn't have new information to give. So we're still modeling based on the 2022. But I think this graphic kind of shows nicely the ramp up period, they call it, for an earned income tax or any income tax that passes, and then it takes 18 months before full collections come in, as withholdings come out of community members' pays, and then when they ultimately file their income tax returns, we start to kind of see that full benefit. I used our forecasting software to project these numbers based on what the Department of Taxation gave me as their estimate. So we're adding a growth factor based on statewide trends. And then you can see in the last 2 years, our my software basically flattens it out, just saying it's too far in the future. We don't know what's going to happen as far as growth or recession or whatever the case may be. So it flattens out after applying a growth factor in the beginning.
So just to clarify that,
Yep.
we do not realize the full potential of that until what month and year?
Great question. So in our case, we pass the community approved in November of 2025. We'll see a full year of collection in July of 2027.
Okay.
So when you think about the timeline, people pay their taxes in the spring of the following year. So they've either had withholdings or build up some kind of tax liability throughout all of 2026. Then they file their returns and pay their returns in the spring of 27. And then we ultimately get final payment in July. So we're looking at a full 18 months. So state funding, everyone's favorite topic. So you'll see on the graph on the right, I think it gives a pretty good picture of kind of a gradual increase in the cost per student in the gray line, just kind of a gradual increase like you would expect most things increase over time, and that's the cost per student per year. And then the state funding remaining essentially flat. Current state formula says that we're already giving you more than our formula says we should give you. So we're not projecting any more because in their eyes, they're already giving us too much, which we all know isn't the case, but that's the formula we're living in right now. There actually won't be a budget for another year, basically, for another opportunity to try to get some wins at the state level, which we'll get that ramped up as time goes to continue to fight for additional funding for Kings. We did see a funding increase this year. That was due to enrollment and performance. So in the last state budget, they basically said if you're meeting performance objectives and you are growing, that we're going to give you a supplement of money to help offset those expenses, and good job. So while their formula says we're giving you too much, they did give us some money over here for being a high-performing district and having enrollment growth. And then the third bullet point says uncertain future. We really don't know what this whole funding formula is going to bring over the next 2, let alone 5 years. We can say with a decent level of certainty that if we stay on the current funding formula at the state level, that we shouldn't expect large increases. They already believe they're giving us more than their formula says. The real question is, are they going to change that, one? And then 2, are they going to continue any other kinds of supplements that do give us a small increase in revenue? So this is something we'll talk about a lot here, probably in the next 6 months when the state kind of gets ready for budget season again. Expenses are our largest expense, salary and benefits. In the forecast, you'll see we've allotted for an additional 2 teachers annually, just due to our enrollment growth in total and also enrollment growth in certain classifications. As I said in the beginning, we're projecting increases, just kind of inflationary as inflation goes and people make more money over time. Kind of in general, we're no different than any other business, and we're not adding a lot of staff year over year. This is just kind of keeping up with our the kids that we have and that we get. So we are building in some inflationary growth due to experience over time, and then also we negotiate with the unions this spring that drive the second piece of that, which is base salary increases for staff. And then insurance, we've had a few great years of insurance, including a year where we received a negative renewal, which is kind of crazy. It's awesome for the district and community, but we did see a market increase of 8% this year. And we're projecting that to essentially continue. I have 10.5 on the screen. I probably should explain that in a little more detail. It's in the report, but so we saw an 8% increase in our insurance, but we also have kind of a second option, which is our opt-out, where staff, if they elect not to take King's insurance, they receive payments in lieu of, which has been hugely successful and saves the district approximately $1 million a year. So it's great. It's a great program. It's great for staff. But we do see increases in those costs year over year as well. Not administratively necessary, but just as premiums go up around us, our costs going out increase. So I have to build in a factor for that as well.
When you talk about insurance costs going up, you know, some people don't know the difference between, like, I guess, you know, the educational world versus the business world. Like, what's the national average of insurance costs going up? Because it's been huge. I mean, I know our family experiences it.
It's historically and kind of year over year, 7 to 9% on average when you look at all groups. And that's been consistent for years, somewhere in that range. Everybody swings. So at King's, there was a 26%. 6 years ago or so, and then we had some down years, and so you kind of ride the wave a little bit. But if you just look at the market in general, you're at 7 to 9% every year, basically, and we don't see it slowing down. Like prescription drugs, for example, they make fancy new drugs which are great for everybody, but they're insanely expensive.
Yeah.
So that's a big cost driver right now, which makes it seem that there's no relief in sight, unfortunately. So that's why we're building in those market increases year over year. There'll be swings, but overall costs are rising.
Yeah. Okay.
And then services, our purchase services. So if we look at salaries and benefits and purchase services, put those together, this is over 90% of all of our spending. So this is kind of the other big category. Primarily made up of student-specific services, transportation, and utilities. You can see in all of these, we've had big increases the last few years. And if you look back at the chart, which you don't need to go to it, but you'll see that we've seen substantial increases over the last 5 years in all of these categories. And these are out of our control a lot of times. We can't control utilities. We can't control some services. We have to transport. We did an RFP and got bids from companies and still took a 10% increase. So a lot of work's done in this world, just some you can't control. And that's the last one.
Can we go back to the tab with property valuation versus revenues? Yeah, that one there.
Yep.
So we've got the revaluation in 2024. Then in 2027, we've got another significant value change. Is
Yep.
there another valuation done there, or what else? Would there be something else driving that increase?
It's a great question. So currently every 3 years, there's either a complete revaluation like we had in 24 or an update where the county auditor looks at sales of houses in neighborhoods, for example, and says, all right, if houses in this neighborhood are selling for more or less than what the values I have on my books, then I need to update that neighborhood or that community because I know it's increasing. So we are up for an update in 2027. Conversations I've had with the county auditor see around a 10% increase, which is great. It means our homes continue to rise in value. It's fantastic. But it's important to point out off to the side of that, you see a negative 2.35 in rate change, showing that as those values inflate, our tax rate goes down. So we don't see true revenue growth along with those increases.
So knowing that our revenue may not increase, and then I look at the main assumptions, expenses, and that going up.
Mhm.
what's going to happen within the future of the forecast.
Yep. So in the future, and you can see this when you look at it, that at some point in time, you have to find ways to continue to save money, to cut those expenses. We've done a great job of trimming everywhere possible without affecting the classroom or student experience. So we absolutely have to continue to do that and find every way possible. But at some point, if you don't make programming changes, if you can't find enough of the other cost savings and your revenues are flat, you have to make programming changes at some point to keep expenses in line with revenues.
So as a district, we need to continue to watch that very carefully and continue to find cost savings when and wherever we can.
Absolutely, 100%. Talk about it. We talk about it daily. We have talk about it in staff meetings. We talk about it. Always top of mind. Always a conversation. Absolutely.
Do we have any other questions for Mr. Morrow? Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Now, the presentation you're going to be doing next week, how is it
Great
quite a
question.
bit different than this?
Great
Just so
question.
like the community can know what to expect for next week.
Yep, great question. So this forecast is primarily focused on what are our revenues, what are our expenses, and what do we think is going to happen and why. Whereas the presentation next week, it's going to be one focused on property taxes and what that looks like and what the future holds there. And then two, get into kind of some how are we doing as a district in general. Not necessarily what's our property tax revenues in its state, just kind of how are we doing? How do we compare? What are some areas where we're super strong? Where are some where we're not so much when we look at ourselves and our peers?
Okay.
So yeah, quite a bit different.
Anything else to add, Mr. Morrow?
Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve approval items for the treasurer?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Item E is approval items for the superintendent. Mr. Sears?
Yes, discussed 3 trips last week. Those are the same, but I will add, between last week's meeting and this, we did get a request for the baseball spring break Vero Beach, Florida trip. So that was an addition from last week to this week.
Motion to for the superintendent.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is approval items for the assistant superintendent HR business.
Good evening, Mr. Skrull, Kings Board of Education. 3 items to review this evening from our work session. First, our personnel items. One major change, wanted to point out 2 resignations for retirement purposes. We have Jane Boehm and Jill Nichols from our treasurer's office. I'd like to pass it over to Mr. Morrow to say a few words about these 2 longstanding employees.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited for 2 members of my team to retire. I'm not excited because I want them to go. I'm just excited because I'm excited for all the things they have planned and all the things they're going to do. So Jill has been with the district 27 years and Jane 26 years. They're invaluable to me and to everybody else across the district. They do a great job and they're as good of people as they are employees and workers. So they're going to be sorely missed, and congratulations to them. They're going to have a blast.
Congratulations, Jane and Jill. Item number 3, I'm going to jump down to before passing it over to Mr. Lucky. Happy to answer any questions over personnel items or the 28-29 school calendar.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to confirm that the teachers union did get a chance to look at the calendar and they seemed like they were
Yes, our conversations with the teachers union were very collaborative.
great. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lucky.
Mr. Spinner, last thing there is that change order and wanted to just touch base. So we've got the change order with contingency funds coming back and carryover of the 10,000 for Columbia. And if you've been by the job site, we are really vertical now. Steel is flying through the air, so don't get too close. But a lot of progress is being made. Big push right now is the schedule. With the winter weather last week or a couple weeks ago, we need to make that time back up. And the big pushes right now are big milestones that we're working on with HGC and SHP to get the bus garage able to open in early August so we can start the year with all of that being done down there. So HGC is currently working on bids for that south property that we acquired from Kings Island. They're working on different bids between turf and grass, bleachers and dugout materials and all those kind of things. So they're working to see, one, what will fit in that budget and how that looks, one from a financial standpoint, but two, timing. So big milestone pushes to be able to hit dates. As weather starts to break, you'll start to see more humans out there. You'll see, if you go down to the Kings Island Great Wolf intersection right now, you'll see a whole bunch of steel sitting down there. That will all go away and it'll get replaced with more steel as they keep moving forward in that classroom wing. So schedule right now is the biggest focus for us in order to be ready for August. So that south work is being done. You'll start to see it, topsoil get stripped, new pile get created, earthwork start to go, just to make timing work. So they're in that whole front end right now of just honing in on exact specifics of things to go into that bid. So they're doing some pre-work right now for that. But very exciting down there. I'd love to give you all a tour one of these as you have time permits. When it's not a foot of mud, I'll get you guys back there. But very exciting. Everybody is all in to hit these schedules. The biggest schedule hurdle right now is getting that bus parking moved to the side and ready for the beginning of August. So that's the hinge pin that we're working on currently.
How many days did we lose?
We lost 5.
Wow.
Lost 5. It's part of the project. If you've done construction before, been into it, you deal with weather. It's part of the deal. Those guys are prepared to work weekends to make up that time to get back on schedule. The good news is the way the steel is going, we'll be under a roof at a time, and then we're not worried about weather. So next winter at this time, we'll be under roof. We won't be dealing with some of the things that we're dealing with right now.
Thank you. We have any questions from the board for Mr. Lucky or Mr. Spinner? All right. May I have a motion to approve these approval items?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Groff?
Yes.
Ms. Cowan?
Yeah.
Mr. Belfrom?
Yes.
Mr. Squirrel?
Yes. Moving along, item G, we have approval items for Assistant Superintendent Educational Programs.
I wanted to put your attention to the new bullying report. So if you can open it. Last week we had some conversation about changing it up a bit. So I changed some of the wording. So I think it captures the conversation we had. So what I've done here is I reported what was called into Safe School. We investigated. That was a conversation we talked about. We wanted to make sure we showed that we investigated. And then the bullying substantiated. So I just changed the wording a little bit, but I think it captured the conversation. Good. Everybody good? Good.
Yep.
I see some nodding heads.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Matt, and if you have any questions for Matt about the other MOU.
All right, may I have a motion to approve these items?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Mr. Belfrom?
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Moving along, we have items presented by the board. Mr. Belfram, I believe you have a legislative update.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, nothing earth shattering. Mr. Morrow actually alluded to some of this. The biennial capital budget process has begun. But as he referenced, it's a long and tedious process. So right now, a lot of the administrative agencies are working to prepare their requests for the legislature. And it was of just particular note because one of those is that they highlighted was the OFCC, which is, something we'll have more interest in going forward once we complete our building projects, when we're kind of up at the key there. And I just highlighted a couple of bills, one in committee, SB 326. I just highlighted this one because I think it kind of speaks to what we're doing here. It's a bill requiring at least one high school computer science course. We tend to see a lot of bills in committee or in first hearing related to curriculum that are things that Mr. Freeman and Mrs. Martin are already capturing here. So it's kind of interesting to see those things kind of going through where we have some legislators who are pushing for things. Maybe not necessarily in this. I don't know that ours is required, but we see things where we're already pushing that stuff as graduate requirements, or they're being made available through our curriculum or college credit that are now being sort of pushed in Columbus to be made into requirements statewide. So just wanted to highlight how we're really kind of forward thinking on that with our curriculum and our Power Five. See that quite a bit each month in the legislative updates. And then there was one other House Bill 420 that's in its first hearing. And again, this kind of refers to kind of references what Mr. Morrow was saying about there's always seems to be bills that are somehow going to impact property taxes or how we're funded. And this one in particular is one that is in its first hearing to disallow and eliminate continuing levies by 2030. So one to kind of keep an eye on. Don't know how much traction that'll really get. As we've all seen when we discuss them here, I think sometimes once the unintended consequences start to be realized with some of this proposed legislation, they tend to dissipate. So just one to kind of keep an eye on. That's all I have, Mr. Stroh.
Thank you, Mr. Belfram.
Sure.
Do we have any other items presented by the board this evening?
I don't have anything to highlight except I want to get Mr. Legault's questions answered. Would you like to do that, or you want me to do it?
I'll coordinate it.
Okay. Just so people in the audience know, we don't typically address it right at public participation, but we will absolutely answer your questions.
Do your reason.
Thank you.
Okay. We're about to enter to executive session for the following purposes: to consider the compensation of a public employee or official, to prepare for collective bargaining, and to discuss matters required to be kept confidential. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Belfram,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yeah.
Ms. Cowan, Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Then when we come out of executive session, since we're not taking any action, we can adjourn. Thank you for coming out.